Hi, my name is Matt Van Nuys.
Good morning, Matt. Van Nuys?
Pardon? Yes, Matthew Van Nuys.
Van Nuys, like Van Nuys,
Like Van Nuys,
San Fernando
California.
Valley?
I should be getting rent checks from them, but I'm not, but we'll see what happens. I work at Janus of Santa Cruz, along with some cohorts here. Where
Santa Cruz?
Yeah,
Okay,
Santa Cruz.
okay.
And so far, I think we're the only drug and alcohol treatment facility under NUHW so far, so we're proud of that one. We deal with the front lines of the opioid epidemic, and you know, but I'm sure we're not the only ones. I'm sure there are many people in this room who deal with the ravages of the opioid epidemic, in large part due to the good work of the fine folks at Purdue Pharma and the Sackler family and all those folks. You know, which has laid a swath of destruction through families, through communities, which leads many to, you know, one of the best results is to find yourself in prison, and one of the worst results is to die. So my question to you is, what do you plan to do about the opioid epidemic and the justice system and things of that nature?
Well, that's a very good question. And let me say, with regards to the opiate epidemic, that is ravaging so many parts of the country and parts of California. And it's a little more unique to certain parts of California and certain demographics. It's not just the opiate epidemic, it's the crystal meth epidemic. It is what was at one time a crack cocaine epidemic. But we dealt with crack cocaine in a very different way, right? We didn't offer mental health services. We didn't offer addiction services. We offered prison. And it was a different approach in how we did that. And it's very important to sort of highlight, if you will, the outpouring of support, which is critical, we must do. But the approaches were very different, right? When folks were addicted to crack cocaine, it was like imprison them and lose a generation and 2 generations who were incarcerated, who never got the services that they needed. This is ravaging, you know, many parts of our country. And this is something that I would clearly, and this is something that should be done in bipartisan fashion, to move forward the necessary resources to deal with the addictions, but also to the underlying causes of the opiate addiction: high unemployment, underemployment, the inability to hold a job and pay for the mortgage or for the rents. You lose your job or two, and then what happens? Our self-esteem is shot, and what happens? Divorces happen, you lose your children, you lose your house, you lose everything that you define yourself by, that make you proud of who you are, that foundation, that solid rock foundation. Once that is shattered completely, then the addiction issues come in, you know, and I've dealt with this stuff in many instances, and this is why I'm gonna make a correlation. I'm not gonna politicize this, but this is when you go to certain parts of the country and you have a strong man who comes in and says, I know why you lost your job, and I know why there's a high level of opiate addictions here. It's because of those people that look like them. And that's when you pit one group against another and you divide the country instead of bringing the country together, instead of, you know, uniting us together with one cause, regardless of if you're white, Latino, African American, Asian American, racially mixed. Poverty is poverty. You know, and this issue of addictions is a real critical issue, and how it impacts our mental health. How we deal with mental health issues, how we numb our pain with alcohol, with drugs, illicit drugs, that to point rewires our thinking, and sometimes permanently. This is something I'm doing right now. On the ballot in November, I'm going to please ask you to vote for it, because it's my proposition that I wrote. It's called Proposition 2. Prop 2, no place like home. And what it is $2.2 billion, that's with a capital B, $2.2 billion for permanent housing solutions with individuals who are chronically homeless, who are mentally ill. And many of these folks have the addictions. It's $2.2 billion. Proposition 2. Now, my name is not on it because of the weird federal laws that don't allow my name to be on other stuff, even though I'm the author of it. You know, leave it to the federal regulations and government to always make things so much more complicated than they have to be. But this is an issue that impacts all of us, and this is an issue that we have to provide the necessary resources for psychotherapeutic services and other services that are needed to deal with the addiction, but more, just as importantly, the underlying causes of the addictions as well too. This impacts all of us, all of our communities, and this is something that I take very, very seriously, Matt.